There's some speculation that he wasn't a protester, that he was actually going against the protesters, that he was actually in favor of President Trump, but they did not confirm that he was not at this rally protesting. And I know that there's a lot of people that are combing through his Twitter accounts as we speak, his Facebook accounts. They say he was a registered Republican. They say his parents were registered Republicans or are registered Republicans, but that doesn't mean anything. Just because you're a registered Republican, a Democrat, independent, that doesn't mean that you don't have hatred for President Trump. As you know, we have something called rhinos, Republicans in name only, that have done everything they can to hurt President Trump's agenda. And on the flip side, we do have Democrats that do support President Trump that haven't switched parties, but they did vote for President Trump in the general. So just because this guy is a Republican doesn't mean that he supports President Trump and his agenda. Now, my governor is one of the most pro-Israel governors we've ever had in the history of our nation. My governor took it upon himself to combat anybody, any student body that was pro-Hamas, that was anti-Israel, that was anti-Jewish. He put the hammer down at the University of Florida and made sure that the University of Florida stopped the pro-Hamas protests on college campuses. I can tell you in Sarasota County, which is where I was born and raised, they've had pro-Hamas protests. And I know that my governor has combated that. So has the Sarasota County legislators. So has the state legislators in in Tallahassee. They have combated all of these pro-Hamas protesters and these anti-Trump protesters. As you know, Florida is a 3-1 Republican state. They have huge Republican support for the president in the state of Florida. And as you know, President Trump is a resident of the state of Florida for the first time in history. We have a president from the state of Florida. And as you know, Governor DeSantis, he won re-election as governor, and he actually exceeded his re-election. He tripled and quadrupled points. He went up with the Jewish voters from 35 to 45% in his re-election campaign. And also when President Trump won in 2024, he also increased his margins in Florida with the Jewish vote, with the Hispanic vote, with the Black vote, etc. So this is very disturbing that 2 shooters ended up at FSU campus today. And they attacked people at the student union. That's where it started. It was right outside the student union building, and there was just shots firing. There was students that were on the FSU campus lawn that were afraid for their life. They felt that they didn't have time to pick up their books or their cell phones. They ran for cover. They ran for their life.